Hi, my name is Robin, and this is Tenerife Cats. Today is Saturday, May the 16th, 2020, and I don't know what this is. It's this bright thing, and this. I go outside, and it starts getting really like I get water on my face, and my skin feels warm. I think they call it sunshine. It's something that we're kind of not used to here in Virginia recently. So yeah, it's really nice out, and the sun is great. I went out and I watered my plants, and I got a couple of pepper plants to go in a pot for my back porch. So wish them luck, because they were brought to a house that likes to kill plants. So hopefully I'll get some peppers because I love peppers, and I have a little Meyer lemon tree plant out there, and the sun's going to be really great for them. And I'm thinking the sun's going to be great for my. I have a couple of grape vines, so hopefully we'll get some sunshine and get the grapes going before they get sogged out and unhappy. Yeah, when it's sunshine and warm, I get lots of grapes, and they're sweet and yummy. And the gentleman that owned the house prior to me had put out like 30 grape plants because he wanted to have a, a, a wine making thing, and he just left. He packed up and went back to the Middle East, and the house was foreclosed on. And the guy that bought the house didn't know what he was doing, and unfortunately, he pruned the grapevines when they were not dormant. So 98% of them died. Two of them survived, and so I don't put anything on them. They either grow or they don't. I try to lure the Japanese beetles away into the bag over on the other side of the yard. But when I'm mowing the grass, I'll stop and pick a couple and eat them. And they taste like really sweet Merlot. They're the best tasting grapes ever. I mean, nothing better than eating a bottle of Merlot and a little grape, right? They're so good. And sometimes at the end of the season, I'll just go ahead and go out and pick a little dish full of them, and I'll make, two or three little jars of sugar-free grape jelly, and it's so good. It's not sweet. It's tart and tangy like Merlot. It's like Merlot wine grape jelly. It's the best stuff ever to put on your on. I always do low carb bread, and I toast it and I put that on there, and it's so good. And I take it to church with me, and everybody has it. It's so good. The tangy, yummy Merlot jelly. It's totally different than Concord grape jelly. It's a unique, yummy flavor that's unexpected, but it's what I have growing in the yard, so it's what I make. So that's that. And then I discovered I have a mulberry tree in my yard. I had no idea I had it. I started cutting my grass a couple years ago, and I kind of let it go last year, and it got away from me. And I was out there cutting the grass, and I mowed around behind the shed, and I was like, "What is this tree with these like little blackberry type things?" And it's a mulberry tree. I picked it. It was like they were so good. And then I came face to face with a very angry squirrel. He was so angry that I was eating his mulberries. So I got to go out there and get some of those because they were really good, and I want to make some mulberry jam. So that's just life at Tenerife Cats. So hopefully this year I won't be so lazy, and I'll get out there and take care of my peppers and my Meyer lemon tree. But I have lots of weeds. I got to weed whack around and take care of it. But yeah, I do have the five cats. You guys have seen the videos. A little history on the cats. The first cat that I got was Audie. She's the little brown tabby. Well, she's not little. She's either a Maine Coon or she could be a Siberian. She had been surrendered with her. She was a bonded pair, and her sister cat was a Russian Blue. And the shelter had adopted the Russian Blue out, so they separated them. Not a very nice thing to do, but Yeah, what can they do? They're trying to place as many pets as they could. So I fell in love with Audie. Audie had just this really sweet, quiet, loving air about her. So I brought her home with me, but she always kind of seemed sad. And no matter how much we kind of love on her and everything, she always was sad, like she was missing her best friend. Her best friend was Beamer, Audie and Beamer. Well, she's Audi, but we call her Audie because I'm not really an Audi fan. I'm a Mustang fan. And I didn't change her name. That's what she's used to. I'm not going to change her name. I never change my cat's names. So I bought this house and moved here, and having to pay a cat fee was no longer an issue. So I thought, well, I'll keep an eye out for a kitten to adopt. So somebody on Facebook had placed an ad up for a free kitten, and it was right here in the area where I live in. And so I contacted him by messenger, and she said, "Well, if you can get here before the lady in Winchester gets here, you can have the kitten." And it turned out she was like two miles down the road from me, so my Mustang went flying down the road to get that kitten. And so Mittens came home with me. There she is. And she was just this tiny little thing when I got her. She was just little. And she was born at a horse barn. And they had a bunch of those Great Pyrenees dogs. So she's a dog cat. She knows dogs, and I'm sure that she would probably be fine around dogs because big dogs. And she was just loving those dogs, and the dogs were loving on her. But I brought her home, and she was all over Audie. Audie was like, "What have you done to me?" And Mittens is like, "You're my best friend." And she brought Audie around, so they have been best buddies ever since. So it was really a good decision to bring her home. Now, Mittens is not real bright. She doesn't have all the cards in her deck. Um, yeah, she's like the dumb blonde in the house, but she's fun, and she's sweet, and she's lovable, and she's funny. There is nothing that she doesn't do that's not hilarious because it's just like the other cats will sit and watch her do it, and it's almost like you can see them roll their eyes, going, "Doesn't she know?" Because I will like do the shadow puppets on the wall, and she will try to get those shadow puppets, and the other cats will sit there and they'll just go, she's just so stupid, but we love her. So when Mittens was about 8 months old, I took her to the SPCA to get her spayed and get her shots and stuff. And I made the mistake of walking through the cat adoption room. I had been watching their site for a while. I don't know why I put myself through it. I always look at their website. What do they have now? Oh, they got this cute old black and white cat, and he's been there so long. And so I dropped her off, and I said, "Well, it won't hurt to walk through." Yeah, it will hurt to walk through. Somebody had sponsored him. So at the SPCA for a fee, and that's what I had to pay for that for Audie at the shelter. So they pay for the spay neuter, the wellness, the shots, the microchips. It's about $125 for that for the cats. So somebody had sponsored him, so he was only $25. So I went in and I was like, "Oh, there's Abner," and he was hamming it up. He definitely knows how to put on a very charismatic show for you. And I was just like, I need to take him home. And the lady's like, "Well, he's only $25 because he's been sponsored." So I was like, "Well, Mittens just had surgery, so I cannot bring a new cat in the house until Mittens comes home and gets settled in a little bit." So we'll hold him for a week for you. It's like, here's my money. So the USS Abner, yes, he is named after a battleship, which is very appropriate because he does not get along with Lottie. I don't know what he does, but they'll be getting along just fine. And the next thing you know, Audie's gonna nail him. I don't know what they do. So then I got to get the spray gun. I have a squirt gun, and I have to squirt them to get them to separate. When I squirt them, then they're kind of like going up. I think we did something we weren't supposed to do. then they quit. And then they chill out for a couple more weeks, but it's not fun when they do that. So it started to get to be a joke that every 6 months I was getting a cat. So I was at the Harris Teeters, and it had been about 6 months, and I was getting real proud of myself. I'm like, I have not gotten a cat. It's over 6 months, and I have not gotten a cat. I'm safe. I have been rehabilitated. Not. So the lady was loading the stuff in my car, and she was noting the cat magnets on the back of it, and she's like, "Oh, you have cats?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm the crazy cat lady. I got 3 cats every 6 months. I get a cat, but I haven't gotten a cat recently." And to be honest, and she goes, "No, I'm the crazy cat lady." She says, "I have 8 cats," and I went, "Yeah, you are the crazy cat lady, not me anymore." I was like, "Not me anymore. It's you." And I said, "But to be honest, I would have a fourth cat. I would have a fourth cat if I could find a ginger, a little orange kitten ginger, but it has to be a female. I don't want to bring a second male in my house and then have 2 males knocking heads. Not gonna happen. I'm only having one male in my house. He is neutered, but I understand that can cause issues if you have more than one male. So I don't want to. I don't even want to go there. So, do you know she reached in her pocket? Only 20% of the ginger population are females. They're rare cats. She reaches in her pocket, pulls her phone out, and pops open a picture of 4 little kittens, 4 gingers, all females. So I said, "Here, take my phone number, and when they're weaned, give me a call." All the way home, I was sitting there thinking, why didn't I just keep my mouth shut? I should have just kept my mouth shut. So I kept praying, oh Lord, let her forget that I said anything. Let her forget I said anything. And about 2 weeks later, my prayer was answered. I was told that I had a new guy loading my stuff in my car, and I said, "Oh, well, where'd Tiffany go?" And he goes, "Oh, she's no longer here." And I went, I'm off the hook. I bet you she won't remember to call me for that kitten. I'm off the hook. Yay! No kitten. I'm staying with 3 cats. Do you know what? 2 weeks later, she called and she says, "They're all weaned. So you want to come and pick out the one you want?" I saved all 4 of them until you had a chance to pick the one you wanted. I was like, "I'll be right there. Thank you." So I brought Marmalade home, and I had to quarantine her for 2 weeks because she had full size mites in her ears. She had the dirtiest ears. I don't know where she had been, but she was the dirtiest, stinkiest little kitten you've ever seen. Uh, she and Mittens both were born of barn ferals, and Marmalade's mother had to have been like in a pig barn or something. She had full sized ear mites, full sized. So of course she couldn't be around any of the other cats. So she had to stay in the bathroom, and all the other cats were gathered around the door. You'd walk down the hall, and even Abner and Audie would be sitting there, like looking on the door at her, and they'd be going, "Get away, get away, get away." And they weren't even beating each other up, but they'd like shove each other, like, "Get away, you get away, I'm looking at her." I don't know if you remember Grandpa Mason at the little Tiny Kittens headquarters, but he's the old feral, the old scruffy feral that they had adopted permanently there. He had a terminal disease, so they decided to give him a permanent home. And turned out that he was very, very friendly and sweet with the kittens that they would bring in, and then they would nurse up, and then they would adopt out. So he lived an additional 3 years, but in that 3 years, he was the grandpa to hundreds of kittens that they would bring in. Well, that's Abner. My Abner loves kittens, so he kind of adopted Mittens when she was little, and then when Marmalade came out, she was tiny. I wasn't even sure if she was 6 weeks old, but the vet assured me that no, this is an 8 week old kitten. This is not 6 weeks old. This is a kitten that can be left from its mother. So I said, oh well, I thought she looked like she was tiny. But so she got treated, came home. I'm like, going, okay, so now I got 4 cats. That's it. No more cats. I thought I had like survived the 6 month hex of getting cats. So my son fell in love with this Japanese bobtail at the Second Chance Rescue. We had gone into the pet store to look for something for these cats. We used to always go into the pet store and look for little toys and snacks and stuff for them. They're long haired, so they always have issues with hairballs, so I'm always looking for something for that. And then Abner's overweight, so I'm always looking for something low snack for him that he can have. And the Second Chance Rescue always has their cages over there. So John is like, I want that cat. I want her to come home with us. And I said, if you bring that cat home, you take it with you wherever you go. You do not leave it at my house. I only need 4 cats. He goes, sure, I'm taking it with me. So she was here for about almost a year, and then he decided to move out, and he took her with him. I was back to 4 cats. I was like, yeah, okay, this is good. 4 cats is good. So about 6 months later, he calls me up and he said, we're moving, and we can't take Pearl with us. So can Pearl come back to your house? So Pearl comes back to my house, and she was evil. She was not the same Pearl as that left. She really had a hard time adjusting. She was growling at everybody, including me. And after about 2 or 3 days, I was sitting there going, what did I do? I'm going to have to call him to come back and get this cat because I can't handle her. I don't know what's going on with her. And then one day she refused to go back in the bathroom because I was locking her up because I was afraid that they would really have, you know, a brawl while I was out at work. And I decided, okay, she doesn't want to go in. I'm going to take my chances. So all day at work, I was like, I hope I don't have a dead cat when I come home. When I come home, I don't know what they did, but they adjusted her attitude. She was back to her old self. She was like, I'm Pearl, and I'm sweet, and I'm smart, and I'm brilliant. She really is a smart cat. So I had a conversation with my son that, since she's almost 2 years old now, it's kind of hard for her to adjust coming in and out. And since he's a renter and he may move again, she could possibly come back and forth. We decided she would stay here. So guess what? 5 cats! I now have 5 cats. But I think I did break the addiction because it's been a few years since I've gotten another cat. My oldest son tried to pawn off 3 cats on me, and that would have been 8 cats. And that would have been way too much. I cannot deal. 5 is enough. I love my cats. Don't get me wrong. They each have their own sweet disposition and they all have something that they do that's totally unique to them. Every cat is a unique individual. And my cats prove that. Every day they prove it. Like Pearl. She does not like catnip. And she doesn't like it when the other cats get it. So when you see that video with Pearl, Chaos, when she jumps down and she starts smacking on Marm for laying on that bag was infused with catnip, and that's why she was picking on Marmalade. Because Marmalade I ended up having to take that bag out of the house because it was inciting fights between Pearl and all the other cats that would lay on it. So that's pretty bad when you got a cat that's a party pooper like that, because all the cats love it. If I put a little bit on the floor, they will roll in it. I mean, Audie will just take her big old body and she'll just roll all over it and she'll rub her face in it and her body in it. And the next cat will do it. And next thing you know, Pearl's over there smacking them around. Quit it! So, that's the story of my cats. I love them. I'm not getting any more. They'll live out their lifetime with me, and I'll enjoy them, and hopefully they'll enjoy each other. Of course, I have to keep my vacuum right there because I have long-haired cats. So when I come home, I have to vacuum because I could swear that I have enough hair on the floor that there might be a 6th cat hiding around here somewhere. And of course, they're in love with the UPS guy because he brings boxes. It's not what's in the box, it's the box. They like their boxes. And the cat tree, I had to move it. With all this COVID stuff going on, one of the symptoms of COVID is, you know, blue toes. And I got blue toes, but it's not COVID. It's cat toe. Not COVID toe, cat toe. It's because it was sitting over here and it used to have a little ladder on it. So with teleworking now, I get up and run and get a cup of coffee at my break time, and I'd smack my foot on that ladder every single time I'd pass it. Every time. So my foot is black and blue, and it refuses to heal now because I've hit it so many times. So I moved it over there, hoping that I wouldn't be hitting it anymore. And I was sitting here one day and I was thinking, these are cats. They don't need a ladder to get on the cat tree. So why do I have a ladder on it for me to smack my foot into? So I took the ladder off. And so hopefully maybe my feet will heal up sooner or later. Oh, the joys of having cats, right? So, but, I do have stray cats outside. So my neighbors were out there trying to lure this black and white Sylvester looking cat. And it was funny, I went out the back door and she goes, "Your cat's right there. Your cat's right there." And I went, "My cats are inside. My cats always stay inside. We have coyotes. Like I said, I don't let them out." And I looked down and here was this little wiry Sylvester like cat. And they were trying to catch it for me because they thought it was my cat. I'm like, "Not my cat." "I think you should take it home with you." So I think she was trying to catch it to take it home with her. But yeah, we used to have lots of them outside. But in the mornings when I used to go out at 3 to go to work, you can hear the coyotes out in the field. I live in farm country, and the coyotes are really, really bad. And they attack the dogs and the stray cats or the ferals. It's decimated the feral community of cats. It's really, really bad. So um, I try. My cats don't go outside because it's a bad place, and you let your cats out, the cars hit them, and they bring in ticks and fleas. So then you got to treat them for that, and the chemicals that you have to put on them to get rid of the ticks and fleas are bad for them. It's bad for you. It's bad for your furniture. So I just don't let mine go outside, and they're all chipped. So should something happen and they get out, at least they can be identified and brought home. So, but they're a lot of fun. So if you have any questions about my cats or how I take care of 5 cats or how I can keep my house smelling well, it's funny because people come in and they go, "This does not seem like the home of 5 cats." They said it doesn't smell like the home of 5 cats. Because I take really good care of the litter box room. So when the lady came from the Second Chance Rescue with Pearl, she did come from the Second Chance Rescue. Now you've probably seen some of these videos on YouTube or Facebook where they rescue some poor little hideous animal that you don't even know what it is. It's so sick, and sometimes it's matted up or neglected, and then they nurse it back to health, and it comes out to be some like cute little fluffy thing, and then it finds a home. But that's Pearl. Pearl had been found in North Carolina, and they guesstimated her age to be maybe about 10 months old, and she was very, very sick, and she was pregnant. So the synopsis is they believe that she probably came in heat and ran out the door and became lost. And she ended up losing all the kittens died, and she got pneumonia aspirated, and she was really sick, and she almost died. So they rehabilitated her. She's a strong, healthy little kid now. But Pearl is a smart cat. I have a lot of respect for Japanese bobtail intellect because she is incredibly smart, and you should see them hunt mice. I'll have to tell you the story about them hunting mice another time because it is a little lengthy because they are hunters, and I'll have to tell you who it was that taught them how to hunt. Hmm, a mystery for later. Okay, well, I've got to go to church and practice because we are having church tomorrow. We are in a little church, so need not fear. We can spread out at least 10 or 15 feet apart from each other because we definitely have less than 10 people. So that's not going to be an issue. It'll be nice to be back together again, to be able to worship. But if we hadn't have been able to get back to work together to worship, we would have been sitting on Zoom again had we had to have. But everybody stay safe, stay well, and happy Saturday to you. You know, you don't have to go to the mall and you don't have to go to Walmart. You could just go out in the yard or take a walk around the block and enjoy the sunshine. Hopefully, you're getting it. All right, take care. From Tenerife Cats, and all my cats are sitting right here. So, bye.